Welcome everybody to our sale that we've got coming up Tuesday, September 15th on showpick.com. We got a great, fabulous set of a variety of females, Tamworths, Hampshires, Durocks, Yorkshires, and crossbreds, as well as barrows on both sides of those breeds. Take a look at them. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call here at Gold Rush. We got great delivery options, free of charge delivery down to Perry, Georgia on the weekend of the 18th, 19th, down to Simply Southern. We got routes going into Texas, routes going into California. Of course, all the runs that we make ourselves throughout the Midwest. So I want to thank everybody. Have any questions, feel free to call us.
Hey everybody, we're in pin G1 out in the grower checking out a trio of Littermate Yorkshires. These guys are study up, back on a fortified crowd control sow. They are born, I believe, the 8th of July. So Dad has caught the barrow. This is 13-1. And as you study this guy, he's way good. He's stout skulled. You get on top of him. He has a big square top, big old stout hip. You check him out through that hip and hind leg. He's correct in his placement. He's big bone, deep sided, yet he's still attractive up through that front end for that really cool show ring look. So that is 13-1. Moving over to the sisters, the one Dad has caught, this is 13-6. Of the trio, she's probably the greenest one today, but man, is she put together extremely well. Up-headed, cocky attitude. You get on top of her, she's jet level down that top. Really good out through that hip and hind leg as well. Really good in terms of center body mass. She's the kind you take her home, you put her on a feeder, and you just let her go. You won't recognize her come 30 days from now. Then this is 13-8. This gilt, I think, has potential to be something really, really special. Not only is she super sound and attractive from the side, you get on top of her, she has a big old square top, that groove lays right down that top line, big old stout hip in her, sets those feet down square from behind. She can plant and go extremely well. Coming at you, she's square chested. These are the kind of gilts that are in the ring that are easy doing, easy growing, and they have that look, mass, and design. So again, these are all litter mates. They're 13 litters.
There's the one barrow again.
There's the barrow. We are now at pin G2 out in the grower checking out a pair of Littermate barrows. These are 8 litters. These guys are out of exchange rate, back on a reach and high sow. They are full sibs to Imagine That, who we have in stud. So Dad has caught the one that's kind of walking to us, being the little cocky one. That is 8-4. And then the one closest to us is 8-1. 8-4, he's the one that kind of has the big spot right here. This guy, I love how he's designed. He's stout skulled, square over that top. You get behind him, really good in terms of that hip and hind leg. Big old chest floor laid in him. He's deep-sided, big ribs. You know, these exchange rates are fun barrows to feed. They're easy growing, they're easy doing. You can push them, you can hold them. You know, depending upon what you're wanting to do and what age rate you want to show them. These guys are really good. So 8-1, he's the one, the little shyer one that's coming up to us, a little more black up over his top. Now this guy, I think, he's a power hog. He's a notch taller at the point of his shoulder compared to his brother. You get on top of him, we can see here, he has a huge top laid in him. Big old groove down that top line. Get behind him, big old stout hip. Really good how he's set in that hip and hind leg. Lots of center rib dimension and pliability. Level design, that show ring look, super square. This is a pair of barrows that I think are really good that you should have on your short list as you're going through these today. We're now in pin G3 checking out a pair of Littermate sisters. These guys are litter mates to the 2 bears we just talked about. These 8 litters, they are exchange rate, reach and high. They are full sibs to Imagine That, who we have here on stud. And actually, this is the 4th time we bred their mama this same way because we have great success with this mating. Now this right here is 8-, is this 13 down?
Yep.
This gilt, She is big time. If you can't see her, she has that stout skull, huge top laid in her. You get behind her, a big old hip and hind leg laid in her. Extremely true in her muscle shape, really good in terms of depth of body and center rib. You know, if you're looking for a gilt that's a market, you can choose either a market gilt or a breeding gilt. I think she's one that could go either way. This girl is way cool and extremely just powerful and massive in her build. Her sister right here is 8-12. Now this gilt, she's the one that's really extended up through that front end, extremely cool, made up through that neck and head carriage. You get on top of her, really level top. You see that groove and shape down that loin, square out through her hip. She's kind of the one that I'd consider maybe a little prettier put together, a little more extension out through that side. Still gets out and moves extremely well. I think this is a pair of littermate sisters who are way good, who we have high hopes for. And so here we'll see if they go up and catch that broom for Dad. But if you're looking for some big time crossbred gilts from a proven known pedigree, I'd look at these girls. We are now at pen G4 checking out a trio of littermate Duroc gilts. These girls are maxed out back on Paradise, born July the 3rd, and Dad has caught the 9 gilt. Now of the 3 littermates, the 9 gilt is the greenest one today. She's really good from the side profile. If you study her, really extended up through that front end, really good in that shoulder placement, square down her top, square out through her hip, really good in terms of that depth of body and center dimension. She's just of the 3, just the greener one. Those are actually the kind we like. You take those home and they just get better and better every day.
Well,
so Dad has caught the 12 gilt. This gilt, I think, is really cool. She's the one that, she's the stout skull, the square top. You check that hip and hind leg out in her, really wide up through that front end. She has all those good designs and qualities, yet she's still a notch green, which we like our Duroc gilts at that. We don't want them to get too far ahead of themselves at this age. You check her out coming at you. She has a really good square chest for her in her as well.
picked up the 11.
Oh, Dad just caught 11. This is kind of the combination gilt of between the 2 out here. She is so cool from the side profile if you study her. Really clean fronted up through that front end, tall at the point of her shoulder, extremely true in terms of her muscle shape and design as well. Really square made out through that hip. She's deep sided. She just has that attractive look to you. As you're studying her, she just catches your eye on that side move. She's able to get out and move extremely well. Again, these guys are all out of maxed out. They're born July the 3rd, and we have 3 gilts depending upon kind of, you want to feed a little greener one or kind of start out with a little bit of mass. But what a really exciting litter. It's TM time. We're now at pen G5 checking out a pair of littermate Tamworth gilts. This is 1-9. Now these 1 litters come from a power-packed pedigree. Their mom is a gilt we bought, well, she's a sow now, Zantana, that was shown over in Ohio last year. He was grand champion overall at her session at the Ohio State Fair. We then bred her this fall to Fury, and we had the 1 litters that were this summer litters. And if you've been following us on Facebook, the champion, or the grand champion, Tamworth Barrow at the Team Purebred Junior Nationals, was the 4th overall Tamworth Bear at the Indiana State Fair. Just named Reserve Tamworth Bear last week out at the Indiana Stock Show. Was a full sib to these guys, a bear that the Baldwin family showed. And then Kelly Morgan and Gus and that whole crew had the 4th overall Tamworth gilt at the OYLE. That would be a full sib to these guys as well. So just a power-packed pedigree. To talk about these guys just a little bit, Dad now has the 12, so 1-12. This gilt is, to me, the power hog. She's stout skulled. You get on top of her, big old square top laid in her, really square out through that hip and hind leg. She's wide chested coming at you, good in terms of that center body dimension. Just a whole lot of mass and product to her. She's not being as feisty as the 9 today, but she's a really good power type of a hog. The 9 gilt that we saw earlier today, She's kind of the one that's a notch greener in her makeup today, but still oh so powerful. If you see that neck and head and chest floor coming at you, that's the first thing that those judges see when you come out of that ring, and she just hits you really jet level down her top. Good shape and design, good center rib. These guys are ones that we're going to read as easy feeding and will be fun to go out and play this winter. Whether you want to show them, I know Ohio has that circuit going on this winter, or if you want to take her down south and hit some of those shows that are offering these breed gilt classes now, we think these girls would be extremely fun to have out and play with. It's Hampshire time. We're now checking out a trio of Hampshire gilts. We have 3 different gilts in here, so to break them down, Dad has caught, is this 20-4. 20-4 is a shock the world back on a prime time. You know, she's a gilt that we really like from the side profile. She's up-headed, she's jet level down that top. You know, as you get on top of her, she has good muscle shape down that loin and out through her hip and hind leg. She sets those feet down square. Good center body. She's a little greener in her condition today, which is okay. These guys are young. She was born the 10th of July, but she's one that is just want to grow and get better and better every day. And these are the kind of Hampshires that we kind of known for. They start out a little green, and then by the time you get to the show, they are masked up and they just outwalk and just kind of beat everybody that's below them. Okay, the power-packed one of the trio today is 6-6. She is the Answer Prime Time. She's born the 4th of July. This girl, I just love her. She's big time. She's stout skulled. She's big top. She has a huge hip plate in her. Really good in terms of that depth of body. Just look at that chest floor coming right at us.
Amy, I want to name her.
What would you like to name her, Dad?
Celebration.
Celebration. That is a great name for her. She's a gilt that I really like, and if you're serious about getting a Hampshire that can go out and compete, this is one that I think you need to have on feed, and will be a lot of fun to show throughout this winter. Perfect age to go down to Perry, Georgia. And then is this 2-8?
Right here, I'm sorry, grabbed the wrong one, eh? Here we go, it's 2-8.
2-8. 2-8's a little throwback breeding. This is a prime time outlaw.
Woo, that's a pedigree.
It is. It's kind of a little bit of an older school pedigree around here. She's born July the 3rd. This gilt is one that is just really cool design. Her front 2/3 are just awesome. How she's put in and that neck and head carriage, that extension up front, that sleek neck and jawline. You get on top of her, she has good shape over that top. She's square made throughout that hip. Really good in terms of her center body dimension. Sets those feet down square at the ground. She's one, she's just going to get better with time.
Absolutely.
And whenever you have outlaw on the bottom side of that pedigree, these girls, they can just go, and they make great mamas as well. And so if you're looking at keeping one to show, then keeping her back in your herd, that's one. So what an awesome set of Hampshire gilts. We'd love to discuss these guys further with you, but Dad, just go over which is which real fast for
Okay,
us.
over here on your right would be 6-6.
Yep. But then-
20-4 in the middle, and 2-8 chewing on my hand.
Awesome, a great set of Hampshire females. We are now in the show barn checking out the first pen, and we have 5 exciting gilts out here. Dad has caught right here. I believe this is this 105-6, Dad?
That is correct.
It's the gilt on the back coming right at us.
Whoa.
She is a purebred Hampshire gilt. She is a one-of-a-kind back on prime time. She is a June baby. But you can just check out, she's stout skulled. You get on top of her, she has a huge top plate in her. Big old stout hip, deep body, big rib. This girl's big time. I just love how she's designed and put together. When we bought one of a kind, these were Hampshire gilts I was dreaming about making. And so, just love her added stoutness and feature.
Amy, put that up on me for a second. I'm going to make a statement on this gilt, if you can hear me. We may have never offered a better one than right there.
She's big time, guys, and that is 105-6.
Here's the other great Hampshire gilt.
Yep, here's another Hampshire gilt. This is 107-7. She's a stomping grounds back on an all eyes sound. Now this girl's completely different. She is the more extended, bigger outline gilt. She's tall shouldered, extended up through that front, up through her neck, I guess, so I'm trying to get out. Really square when you get on top of her, good muscle shape. A little greener in that body today, but she's also running in a pen of 5 gilts too. So she's one, when you get her home, you get her going, she's gonna bloom up and keep that center rib dimension underneath her. And she's not wanting to cooperate for us very well today. Here we go. There she goes. And this
Amy,
is the
you've made a living driving gilts like this.
I have. That front end, that shoulder set, just how square made they are. This is a gilt. There we go.
Woo! Okay, let's go crossbred time, Amy.
Yep, I believe, is this, which one are you grabbing, Dad?
Hold on, I don't know. Let me see if this one will grab me. Here. Come here,
We'll do
sweetie.
the little red gilt. There we go. She might not want to cooperate. This is 106-4. She's a matchmaker Horton. Guys, if that pedigree sounds familiar, she would be a full sib to Digger, who we have on stud here at Gold Rush. So this line is one that we are extremely excited about, have a lot of faith in. Her full brother, just a litter before hers in stud here. But this girl, she's stout skulled, she's big top, she's big hipped, she's square chested. She's marked extremely cool and memorable as well. Look at that big old wide chest floor coming at you. This is one that you could feed breeding gilt or market gilt, depending upon what you're looking for. Again, that is 106-4.
Okay, let me see if I can pull Miss Red here. I don't know if I can.
Oh, you might catch the other crossbred.
Yep. She's got something in her mouth there. She ain't gonna let me have that.
Okay, guys, this is 104-5. She's an electrifying party up north. And she's not wanting
She's
to
got something
cooperate.
in her mouth.
She's marked, if you can see from the side, she has a really cool belt in her, but she's also one that I really like just how she's designed and put together. She's really square made over that top. She has added extension to the side up through that front end, especially in these breeding gilt classes. That's what they're picking up here in the Midwest, that really cool neck and that extra extension from the side. Now with Party Up North on the bottom side of the pedigree, these guys can be a little green early, but for any of you guys who drove some Party Up North babies, they're the ones that just get better and better over time. And then we bred that sow to electrify. So here's one that we think is going to just get better with time, and she has all those basic parts and pieces that you need to go out and be extremely competitive.
Amy, I want to add for the breeders, if you want production, then you will get it out of Party Up North.
Yep.
Okay.
So we got the Jurock gilt out here. This is 38-11. She's a maxed out Paradise. And again, she's a June baby. This girl's stout. As you study her features, she's stout skulled. Look at that big old white chest floor in her. Really square made up over that top and out through her hip. She's big centered, big boned. She's just one that she's kind of just built, kind of an old school term, built square from the ground up. And that's how this girl is. She can get out and move extremely well. We don't have Lindsay here just to sound off on her, but this would be Lindsay's kind right here.
Absolutely.
Again, that's 38-11. So in this pen, there's 5 exciting gilts we'd love to talk to you more about. We are now in pen 2 up at the show barn checking out some barrows. These are all crossbred barrows. Dad has right here, this is 90-1. There's a pair of these bears in this pen. They are exchange rate electrified.
Right,
these two are the littermates, yep. So you got 90-1 is the wider belted, and then kind of the gray roaned up one is 90-4. We'll start with 90-1. This guy he's just stout. He's stout skulled. You get on top of him, really shaping up over that top and out through his hip. Big old hip plate in him. Tons of center body. You get from the side of him, really deep, pliable rib shape on this guy. He's just a really good, kind of practical made bear that's going to be an easy, fun feeder.
I'll jump to the blue one, eh?
The blue one, this guy's ear notch, what is he?
83-1.
83-1. We have a pair of these bears in here too. He is a matchmaker party up north, going back to one of the 75 South. 75-10 is his mama. If you follow our herd, that's kind of the foundation of our crossbred herd right there. This guy is marked really cool. He's kind of blue-butted, but has that really neat head. But this guy he's really good. As you study his parts and pieces, he's deep-sided, big ribs, very square made at the ground. One that's just clean and extended up through that front end. He's maybe a notch softer muscle, but he reads as an easy feeding, easy doing bear that you can push, hold, do whatever you need to get to these shows that we want to. Now this red barrow right here is his brother. So this is 83-2. Again, they're matchmakers parties. This guy's kind of a complete different spectrum of his brother. This guy is so true in terms of that shape and design. Big old square top, extremely true out through that hip and hind leg. Good in terms of depth of body, square made at the ground, up-headed, attractive, marked so cool, being red belted with that black ear. He's one that'll stand out in the ring. But this guy, I really, really like. Perfect for anybody who wants to kind of drive him all winter. He kind of reads that he has that frame just to get out and go.
Okay.
This guy right here, I believe, is this 87-4?
Yep.
This kind of black-headed, black-butted barrow is 87-4. Now this guy is extremely raw in his makeup. Really extended up through that front end, very square up over that top. You see that, just that loin shape going down that top, really square out through his hip and hind leg as well. They're all being little piranhas today. Really square chested as well. This guy's one that I like a whole lot. He's a little greener today maybe compared to some of the bears in this pen, but man, as you study and break him down, he's designed extremely well and extremely true in that muscle shape. And just such a clean and cool head on him. Now this bear right here, we talked about his brother a little bit earlier. This is 90-4, I believe. This guy is kind of a gray roan. He's black with white hair, so he's like really cool marked. And this guy's just stout, massive. We can use all the ESTs on him. He's the stout skulled, he's big top, he's big hipped, he's big centered, square made at the ground, just a whole lot of mass and product. For you guys that want to get out and go jackpot right now, like I know over in Ohio, the circuit's coming up with some shows here all within the next month and a half. This guy will be ready to hit those shows. Now, if you're in the Southwest and you're wanting to go out and start hitting these early jackpot shows, this is one that you could get home, get him trained, and he's ready to go. So I think he's a big time bear. So a really good set of crossbred bear. We're now checking out 5 gilts. There's 2 hams and 3 crossbreds in this pen. And Dad has caught, is this 105-4? This girl, we saw a sister to her earlier. She's a one-of-a-kind prime time. Now this gilt is kind of a cool design gilt. Look at her from the side profile. She's so clean necked up through that neck and jawline. It extended from the side. She has probably I'd say a little more extension. Really true in terms of that muscle shape and design. Really good in that hip shape. If you're looking for a breeding gilt, these are the kind that are fun to breed because you can take multiple boars to her out there. Okay, let's catch the other Hampshire gilt in this pen. This is 85-7. She's a primetime world class. So if you follow us, primetime world class, that is some of the most kind of elite, now becoming old school genetics we have here. This girl is really cool in her makeup. She's square chested, she's tall at the point of her shoulder, very true in terms of that muscle shape over her top and out through her hip. One that has really good in terms of her depth of body and center rib shape. She's not wanting to pull extremely well for us today, but really good in terms of that hip and hind leg as well. And these primetime world classes are easy feeding, easy doing Hampshire females.
And let's just talk about the pedigree just a second, Amy. I mean, it's not like you're guessing here. This one's going to mass up, going to be good. She's got the extra frame and extension. Like you said, she's not full of it. I want to say this is maybe one of the better front-ended of this main. So, we'll leave her there.
Yep. Okay, Dad, you have is this
8210.
82-10. She's a matchmaker. Party up north. These 82s go back to 75-12, which, as you can read about, has just done a phenomenal job for us. I love this gilt. She is so cool marked with that black spot right on her top, and then she has that one black eye. This girl's extremely true in her muscle shape. If you're looking for that true shape and design, I know we kind of say it a lot, but down that top and out through her hip, she's very raw in that makeup, very square made at the ground, yet she still has center body dimension and that pliability of rib shape, really attractive up through that front end. Here's another gilt. I think you could go breeding gilt or market gilt depending upon what you're looking for. So, is this
Her sister.
82-7. Again, these are out of matchmaker parties, and this girl's just cool. Look at her go. She's kind of that combination gilt. She has that attractive look from the side. She's level top. She's square hip. She has center rib shape. She's wide chested. She's stout skulled. She's big hipped. This girl, I think, could just go all day long. That blue, she has such a pretty blue color to her too. I know that sounds silly, but you know, you want to do everything you can to stand out and make that impression to that judge. And also, if you're looking for breeding gilts, her mom is 75-12. So we had 3 of those girls who just, if you check out our sow herd, everybody kind of goes back to them. A lot of the boars we raise go back to her as well. It's also the mama tank who's on stud here. And so now we have this little red roan gilt. This is, I believe her ear notch is 89-10. Is that correct, Dad?
That is correct.
She's a bare necessity diamond. And this girl, she's being a little timid today, but she is really cool designed. She's another one of those really big topped, now come over here, we can see a little better, stout hip type of a gilt. She has a big old hip and hind leg laid in her. Really clean up through that front end. Really good in terms of that center body dimension as well. She's just being a little scared tonight, not wanting to get out and go. But these are the kind that are fun to feed, and we guarantee, you know, these are the ones that, you know, I know a lot of people have some market shows or breeding gilt shows. She's another one that you can take either way. Going back to diamond, they can just get out and move. We bred her to bare necessity, a boar from Weimers. And, you know, they're known for adding muscle. So just a really good crossbred gilt here to round things
This
out
one has
today.
market gilt all over it.
She does have market gilt all over her. A really good set of gilts to end up our stream.
Thank you for listening to our page around the bar.
Thank you, everybody. Any questions, make sure you give us a call. Okay, tell everybody bye.
Bye.